Hey guys, so I'm coming to you today live from my bathroom, just like I promised. I brought a kitchen stool in here, so this is not a normal feature in our bathroom. And I do have the overhead light on, which comes with the fan, so hopefully that's not creating too much distracting noise there. But the reason I'm coming to you from my bathroom is because I have a lot of bathroom products. I'm a little bit obsessed. I love ordering things on Amazon or hopping over to Whole Foods or Target and trying out different potions and lotions. And since starting this journey, trying to rebuild my health, after years of being on birth control pills, after years of eating just a crap diet and being so stressed out and burning the candle at both ends, it all kind of accumulated in an autoimmune diagnosis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And, I had to rebuild my circadian rhythm, my sleep-wake cycle. I had to learn better stress management. I had to learn a new diet. I had to, just really kind of take stock of all of my habits and figure out how all of these things were impacting my wellness or preventing my wellness in most cases. And that's a really steep learning curve. And, that's what I usually help clients with. Sometimes the things that I give them to do can seem really overwhelming. I can kind of see it in their faces. And obviously we break it up into little baby steps and help them to integrate that at a pace that feels right to them. But I just want to acknowledge everything that goes into reclaiming your health, into rebuilding your health and creating wellness that you want. And one of the last things that often shows up on that list is examining our personal care products. So obviously after, I think I've been gluten-free for over 5 years, and, I've been taking supplements and, enhancing detox and all these things. It's still a learning process for me. So, as tough as it can be, I just want to remind you how rewarding the work is, how grateful your body will be for all of the changes that you're making in your diet and your lifestyle, and how important the changes are that you're going to be making in your personal care routine. And then also stress that it doesn't have to be perfect, making progress and maybe just even cyclical process. So sometimes I've probably, made all of my personal care stuff. I used to make laundry detergent, for example, which worked great until we got a high efficiency washer machine. And so now we're back to buying laundry detergent, so sometimes I've been maybe even, better with my personal care products and my household cleaning products. And then I kind of maybe fall into a little bit of a slump. It's okay to just go back and recorrect again without getting too much into the drama of oh my gosh, I failed and I can't do this. So just cut yourself some slack. I want you to acknowledge that we're just all on this journey together. We're all learning, and you can just continuously just reapply yourself. So some of that is maybe things that I'm telling myself today, because in order to prepare for this Facebook Live, what I did is I took out all of my bathroom products and I put it all on my bathroom counter, and I typed in descriptions. So I made a little spreadsheet, which I'm going to share with you guys after this. So if you are curious what products live in my bathroom, you will now have that information. So I organized it by brand in one column, product name, and then I went to the environmental working group, and that's ewg.org. They have a really cool database called Skin Deep Database. And what they do is on a 10 scale, they'll basically tell you based on the products or based on the ingredients in your product, how toxic or harmful it might be to your health. So ideally, we're in that 1 to 3 range, and then that middle range, I try to avoid, but maybe for you, if all of your products are in that 7 to 10 range, maybe a good benchmark is to get it down into that yellow range, which I think is 4 to 6, and then work towards that green range, which I think is, it's either 1 to 3 or 0 to 3, so really low. So for me, I've been at this for a while, so thankfully I did not have any red items, in that 7 to 10 range, but I did have one that was a 6. So that's not good from my perspective. Before I show you which products were the top offenders and then what I did when I couldn't find some of them in the database, why is it important? Why are we even talking about this? Things that you inhale, fragrances, Febreze, perfume, fragrance deodorants, your toilet bowl cleaner, whatever, that is all going to impact your body's ability to detox. Those compounds are active. So your body actually has to process them through your liver, and it can really alter, not only like your nutrient status, because liver function eats up nutrients, it impacts inflammation, it impacts your hormones. And then we look at things that we put onto our skin. Our skin is an organ. Everything that we're putting on our skin is getting absorbed, especially when it's near openings in our body, like our eye. This is a soft tissue membrane. Our nose, things are, getting absorbed more easily there. Our mouth, obviously, we eat a bunch of the stuff that we put on our mouths, and us chicks, we always wear like chapstick and lipstick. So, and all of this together, so all of these like multiple exposures like throughout the day, they really impact our health in a really significant way by contributing to inflammation and hormone imbalance. So if you want to rebuild your health, if you're struggling with hormone issues, whether it's, hormonal acne or PMS or irregular periods, or infertility, or, maybe you're going through a really hairy menopause right now and it's really rough, you got to look at your personal care products. Diet is so important. Lifestyle is so important. I can't really say which one is the most important. They're all important. So this is just as deserving of your attention as thinking about buying organic food or thinking about moving your body every day. So hopefully this inspires you to evaluate your own personal care products and kind of like maybe pick a few out that when it runs out, you're going to replace it with something a little bit better. The other day on Facebook, I'm going to quote myself here, which is a little nerdy. So on my business page, you might have seen I posted something about xenoestrogens, and xenoestrogens are chemicals that imitate estrogens. So like PCBs, BPA, the plastics that we always hear about. There's so many plasticizers in all of our products, you guys. So we're just like putting that directly on our skin, even though we won't give it to our kid in a sippy cup, so it's really serious. And then phthalates, which is like super ubiquitous in all of our products. But think about like sodium lauryl sulfate is a really common ingredient, propylene glycol, all these toxic things. So xenoestrogens are chemicals in everyday products that mimic estrogen and cause hormonal imbalances. So the scenario that I described on there showed just how much we interact with these chemicals. So let me just read that to you. So imagine that you're running to Target to pick up a few things. You grab deodorant, some lotion, toothpaste, laundry detergent, and because it's Target, you pick up one of those cute candles at the end caps, right? So the cashier hands you your receipt, and then you go to the Starbucks that they have there and you pick yourself up a hot mocha for the drive home. So the question was, how many of those things that I described had xenoestrogens in them? And the answer is all of them. Even the receipts have coating, and the lid of our coffee cups, and the candles and the toothpaste. So it's super ubiquitous, and it just creates this mega toxic load that can really have negative impacts on our health. So it's super important. I think I've stressed that enough. Let's get into what some of my personal care products look like, and maybe this is just like a good exercise of vulnerability for me, just to demonstrate that I'm not perfect. I don't know if I ever project that. I doubt it. But if anybody's watching this who's like, oh, Britt lives like the perfect life and she's always drinking all the water and getting all of her steps, and she goes to bed at the same time every night, she always eats organic, and all of her personal care products are amazing. I'm just a human, and I'm certainly not perfect, and you're gonna see that in just a second. So let's see. the first products that I wanted to show you was ones that were good, so not toxic. Let me go on to my spreadsheet here. So the first one is this Redmond's facial mud. I really like this, especially for like spot treatment of a blemish. So if I'm just breaking out and I just want to put a little bit on, I really like having the pre-mixed. And some of you know that I've talked about Redmond's Real Salt. That's this brand, so that's cool. So this ingredients in here, the ingredients, purified water and bentonite clay. So it's really not surprising that this would be, you know, a top rated product, super safe. So yay, I got one good one. Then the other really good one was this toothpaste. Jason is a generally, you know, pretty good brand, and this one's fluoride free. And both of these products got a rating of 1, which is awesome. So those are some of the safe products that I have, and there wasn't that many, you guys. All right, so then moving to what some of the worst products are. This is really interesting because, like I said, I buy a lot of my personal care products on Amazon, at Whole Foods, at Target. You know, sometimes I'll go to Ulta, but all of the products that I buy, they're advertised as being clean. You know, they're advertised as being good for you, non-toxic, you know, gluten-free, which, like I said, I'm gluten-free. So, for example, I try to be really careful about getting gluten-free products, like for lip products, because I don't want to eat gluten, you know, in my lipstick or whatever. And even though a product may appear to be okay, it doesn't mean that it actually is. So that's what's so nice about being able to use the Environmental Working Group as a resource. And they have an app. They can, you know, let you scan product UPC codes, or you can just do a search if the UPC code scan doesn't work out. But okay, so a lot of the makeup that I use is Tarte brand, and I get that at Ulta. And I learned from doing this, not great. 4 to 6 was the general rating of the products that I had. So the worst one, which was a 6, was my contour concealer. So that's not great. I still have a lot of it left, and it's up to you what you want to do. If you want to just chuck, you know, the products that you have that you find out are toxic, I'll probably continue to use this, and then when it's done, replace it with something that's a bit safer. The other 2 products that I had of theirs that were 4s was their blush and their Lights Camera Lashes mascara. So all of these, like when they're used up, I mean, they're probably like $20 to $30 products, and so I don't really want to throw out, you know, $100 worth of products. But when I use them up, I'll be looking for a better option. And I know there's a lot of people that are associated with Beauty Counter in this group, which is great. And they have some great options, I know. So honestly, that'll probably be some of the products that I try to buy when I replace those ones. And then there was some products that I wasn't able to find on Environmental Working Group. I honestly am not 100% sure how they come up with which products they feature on their database. Sometimes the products that they had on there were based on old formulations, so maybe the manufacturer has reformulated the product and the rating is no longer active. And so they noted those, but then there wasn't maybe like an updated one. So that made it a little bit hard. One thing that I have done in the past, which is kind of a lot of work, is you can search by individual ingredients on the product. So if you're like fennel blah blah blah, like what the heck is that? Like, is that bad for me? You could just type that in and it would explain to you if that's a toxic ingredient or not. So if you're really curious and that exact product that you have isn't on there, that is an option. I did not do that for today's, so I'll show you some of the products that didn't receive a rating. One thing that I did try is there's another app called Think Dirty. And I've heard mixed reviews about that, you know, how reliable it is or not. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I tried it out and I had a good user experience, but I don't know if it, how great the results are compared to Environmental Working Group. But I was able to find a couple products on there that Environmental Working Group did not have. So for example, and this was like kind of surprising, you guys. So I have this deodorant. I never use deodorant with like aluminum or propylene glycol in it or anything like that because deodorant was one of the first things that I improved. This is Alafia Coconut Reishi Deodorant, Bergamot, and Charcoal. Safe, clean, and effective. Ethical body care. So it's like, it's got all the things that I want to read on my deodorant. This actually got a 5 out of 10, 10 being bad, on Think Dirty's app. So that's interesting. And then when I look at the ingredients now, yeah, there's like a lot of things where I'm like, I'm not super sure what that is. So just because, and I bought this at Whole Foods, so just because it's like, it looks healthy, smells healthy, walks healthy, talks healthy, it doesn't mean that it is. So that's a good lesson there. Another thing that wasn't on Environmental Working Group, but that came up on Think Dirty, was our foaming hand soap. So this is a Whole Foods brand. And so it's like, oh cool, like everyday value, premium body care, blah, blah, blah. This was a 5, which isn't great. And you know what the thing is that a lot of those healthy products that are turning out to maybe not be so healthy, I paid a premium price for because like the manufacturers and the marketing team wanted. I assume that they were great for you, so I'm like, well, I'll pay a little bit extra because it's a little bit safer, and maybe it isn't. Let's see. Oh yes, this was also a 5. Alba Botanica. This was at Target, but I know that they also sell it at Whole Foods and on Prime. So this was not great either. And Alba Botanica is a brand that I know, I think they call that greenwashing, where you are led to believe that a product is really natural and healthy and safe, and it isn't. There was some products that I couldn't find on either site, and one of them was this Thayer's facial toner, which is kind of funny because I feel like this product is everywhere, and I was really surprised. So this isn't just straight witch hazel, it's got like a bunch of other stuff in it. So, maybe, I don't really see anything that's like super red flag, but it would be good to know. So I might try to search some of the ingredients. But really the biggest one for me, so I use a lot of, I think it's Derma, or Derma-E, I never know how they want us to pronounce it. I use a ton of their products, you guys, and they weren't on any of the sites. They had some old formulas that were on there that weren't getting great ratings, and so I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming that they didn't since reformulate to be better. So they're a little suspect, and if I wanted to continue using these products, then I would probably do a ingredient search. But I know that there's like a lot of other substitutes. It's like a face wash. You can find 100 different kinds of face wash, so it's really not a big deal. When I use this up, maybe I will just switch to a brand that I can find a rating for and can feel good about, because again, these products are priced at a premium because they're supposed to be 100% vegan, GMO free, cruelty free, eco, ethical, so it's like they're trying to, lead you to believe that it's super healthy, and maybe it isn't. So I might be swapping these out for something a product that has a bit more transparency, which I think that we should reward as consumers. We want brands that are going to try to get themselves onto Environmental Working Group's website or onto Think Dirty's database. So that's kind of what I have for today. So I'm going to be posting, like I said, this spreadsheet that I did. You can use it, as a template to do your own bathroom, if that's what you want to do. Maybe it's part of your spring cleaning routine, you guys, and maybe it's a good time to get rid of older expired things. Google how long you're supposed to keep eyeshadow around. Maybe yours is just gross and it's time to toss it anyway. And if you're looking for better product recommendations, post your question in the group. There's so many people in the group that I'm sure would be happy to help throw out suggestions for what they've found works for them. Maybe I'll even have a suggestion. So yeah, don't hold back. If you're really in love with your face wash and you want a better option, but you want to know that you're gonna love it, ask us. It's just a bunch of gals in here like trying to help each other out. So we're definitely here for that. So all right, that's all I have for today. So be sure to post your questions and keep sending me questions through direct message or posting them in the group or emailing me because that's what inspires these Facebook Lives. I don't want to do them if they're not going to be helpful. So, make sure to let me know how it is that I can help you and what it is that you want to hear me talk about. All right, talk to you guys soon.